Can you hear me, Colby?
Yeah.
Why is it not letting me?
Oh, no.
So you go, yeah, of course.
Long time no see.
Can you hear me, Colby?
We can hear you, Lynn. Can you see us now? Lynn, can you hear us?
Say no. That's what I said. I don't think she can. Or she's just ignoring you.
That very well could be the case.
Your mute is on.
Make sure the volume's up.
Could be on her end.
Are you there, Lynn? Can you hear us?
No, I can read her lips. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
This is gonna be fun.
How about now?
There we go.
Okay.
Always makes me feel better when it wasn't me.
Yeah, too many buttons that have volume things on this computer.
Lynn, can you see our screen?
I can.
All right, Mr. President.
All right, it is now 6:32. We will open up back our session for the Board of Directors meeting for the Group of Area Recreation and Park District at 6:32. We will begin with our recognition of our outgoing board.
We need to have a pledge of allegiance and all that too.
Oh,
Okay.
but you have a pledge of allegiance.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Agenda.
But we first have a.
And then, yeah,
Oh,
Now it's
announcement of closed session.
Closed session announcement.
Okay.
In closed session, the board met with their attorney regarding the one item of anticipated litigation. They gave instruction to their attorney on potential draft agreement with the Paradise Knolls Corporation and Equity 3 Inc. Corporation regarding the Paradise Knolls development project. In closed session, the board also met with its general manager as the negotiator on the property acquisition listed on the agenda. And that concludes the announcement. The board gave the general manager direction with regards to property acquisition.
thank you.
And that-
Do the pledge first.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do we need to do our?
As order. Okay, all right, we will recognize our outgoing board member, Rebecca Udarte Byrne.
Okay, come around to meet you. You just go. You'll be next.
Oh.
Okay, come up here. Rebecca?
Yes, sir.
We would like to thank you for your service here, in the board of directors for the group for Area Recreation and Park District. We came in together, 4 years ago, so happy to have served along, here on the board for you. You gave a lot of, good insights and you made a big impact in the board and district and so our district. So we thank you for your service and we hope to see you, active to our city.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Of course, right here. No problem.
Oh.
I have a separate recognition for the districts. So,
One as well or no?
sorry,
Was it for this?
No, you have one. Yeah, okay.
the district, you want me to do it now?
No, I'm sorry. You're on your presentations.
Oh, really?
Kind of works from home anyway. Works from.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
And you works from.
Is there any other board members who'd like to make any comments?
Thank you very much for your.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Rebecca. It was a pleasure.
My pleasure.
Thank you for your service.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Don't be a stranger. Come back and see us.
All right, will do. Thank you so much.
All the fun times on Thursday.
Start exciting meeting.
All right. So now with that, we will go to our swearing in of our newly elected board members.
We're gonna go through, we have three different board members taking the oath of office tonight. We'll start with Division 1, Kim Gerald Johnson. If you could please join me up here. Please raise your right hand. You're swearing yourself in as the Director for Division 1 for the next 4 years.
Yes,
And repeat after me. I, Kim Gerald Johnson,
I, Kim Gerald Johnson,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
and that I will bear true and faithful allegiance
and I will bear true and faithful allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and that I take this obligation freely
and that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and I will well and faithfully
discharge these duties
discharge these duties
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
I see your signature. If I could have Director Division 2, Jose Luis Godinez, join me. Accepting the position of Director for Division 2 for the Brookberry Recreational Park District. Please raise your right hand. I, Jose Luis Godinez,
I, Jose Luis Godinez,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
and that I will bear true and faith allegiance
and that I will bear true and faith allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and that I take this obligation freely
and that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge these duties
discharge these duties
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. And I'd like to invite Tammy Rebus, our new board member. You'll be taking your oath as Division 3 Director for Brookberry Recreation Park District. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Tammy Rivas,
I, Tammy Rivas,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
and that I will bear true and faithful allegiance
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge these duties
discharge these duties
upon which I'm about to enter.
which I'm about to enter.
Thank you so much. I say those three things.
All right. Next, we will be doing the pledge to the flag. Mr. Godinez, can you please lead us?
Yes, please stand. Put your hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we get roll call, please?
Division 1, Tim Cheryl Johnson. Here. Division 2, Jose Luis Godinez.
Present.
Division 3, Tammy Rivas. Here. Division 4, Edgar Castelet.
Present.
Division 5, Ross Leisha.
Here.
Okay.
Do we have any presentations and recognitions today?
Yes, we do, Mr. President. I believe we have Colin Markovich here from Senator Cervantes's office.
Hello, everyone. Colin Markovich here on behalf of Senator Sabrina Cervantes. I could not let the year go by, and Senator Cervantes cannot let the year go by without publicly acknowledging that it is JRPD's 40th anniversary. And so in recognition of all the work that JRPD does day in and day out to provide quality of life, to provide good parks and service to the residents of Fruita Valley, I would like to, on her behalf, present a formal resolution of recognition to JRPD in recognition of 40 years of service to the community. Thank you so much for improving quality of life for the residents of Fruita Valley and all that you do. And I can now formally present this to however you would like to do it.
We need a group picture.
President, or do you care? You don't need to sit up. Tell me what to do and I will stand wherever you tell me.
Good, look, that looks good right there.
Yeah.
Squeeze it just a tad if you don't mind. There we go. Let me finish you what.
Probably do an expert day.
Yeah. Oh, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thanks to the senator.
Yes.
It's 40 years more, 400 years more.
Right.
That's exactly right.
You may be here.
I didn't-
Colin, your email hasn't changed yet, right?
It might have actually,
You texted you?
yeah. And I didn't say in the public promise, but I think something that's why it's so significant is the city of Fruita Valley, as you all know, wasn't incorporated 4 years ago, but JRPD was here. So the fact that we had a parks division here to provide those services to the residents of Fruita Valley, that is so important. So you all are carrying on that tradition, and I hope that JRPD will continue to bring that tradition forward for 40 years into the future. So thank you very much.
Thank
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Colin, I don't seem to have your number. You want to write it down for me?
Or you want to email?
Let me give you my new email address.
Perfect. Right, don't mind writing it down and I will get that off to you this evening.
On to public comments. Do you have any public comments? Consent calendar. Would anyone like to remove anything from the consent calendar? None, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve consent calendar.
Second.
All in favor?
I.
Right. Motion passes 5-0. On to 5.1, annual audit report of the Harupa Area Recreation and Park District prepared by Smith, Marion and Co. for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2024. Mr. DeGood.
I'm actually gonna turn this over to Ms. Bogus this evening.
We use the auditing firm of Smith Merriam and Associates, and tonight we are going to be have a presentation by, I'm sorry, you don't have to. Kendra Dockery.
Yeah.
And she is representing, she did our field work and our audit this year. Her team did an excellent job. And I hope we were able to provide all the information needed.
And she's promised to make this entertaining.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far. But we won't read the financial statements, but I know that all of the board members got one in their packet. And so we did perform the audit. In performing the audit, we test the account balances, make sure they're fairly stated. We issue our opinion, which says that the financial statements are fairly stated at year end. In our testing, we did not have any internal control findings. So that's all good. So this is just a little bit about our firm. We specialize in nonprofits, professional associations, housing authorities, and special districts like Harupa. And of course, my name is Kendra Dockham. I am a principal at the firm. So this is a snapshot of the district's assets. So at year end, they had current assets of 25 million. I'm not going to read all the numbers to you. And non-current assets of 75 million. What we can see is that the majority of that is in our restricted assets and our capital assets. Current liabilities, 382,000. We had non-current liabilities of 5,588,000. We had accounts payable of about 183,000. We had accrued liabilities that included our vacation pay, things like that. And then we had other current liabilities of 84,000. Non-current liabilities, there's some vacation payable, debt, pension liability, and our deferred inflows, which the majority of that is our pension. Any questions? Yeah. Okay. Net assets, that's what we have left over. Subtract our liabilities from our assets. We had $95,460,425 in our net assets. The majority of that is in our capital assets. Capital assets is our building, our properties, all of that. About 70 million. 19 million of our net assets was restricted for a purpose. And we have 5,291,000 in our unrestricted, which means it's available for general operations. So total revenues, we had program revenues of 8.6 million. The majority of that is charges for services of 8.4 million. We had general revenues of 4.4 million. Those come from our taxes and assessments, the majority of them, 3.5 million. And we also had investment earnings of 738,000. Any questions? Right. These are our expenses. The majority of it is in services, 81.5%. And we have depreciation expense, which is a non-cash expense, 18.5%. Total expenses for the year, 8,123,000. In our governmental funds, this is the composition of our assets by fund. The majority of our assets are in our capital project fund, 37.5%. Our CF district, 36.5%. Our maintenance district, 1.2%, and general fund, 24.8%. This is a breakdown of our liabilities. Unfortunately, one of these doesn't show up, but the majority of our liabilities are in our general fund, 88.8%. This is the revenues broken down by fund. 37.3% is coming from your general fund. 25.4% is coming from capital projects. And 33.2% from the CF district. I forget what that district is.
Need facilities.
What?
Our community facilities district.
Thank you.
Combined.
What is MA?
MA is the maintenance.
Maintenance assessment district.
This is expenditure by fund. Most of it's coming from our community facilities district. Also our general fund, 37.3%. These are our expenditures by type. So 30% of our expenditures are coming, of course, from our salary and wages. Benefits is 7.5%. Services and supplies for the district make up 51.5%. And then our capital outlays during the year, 11% of our total expenditures. This is our fund balance at year end. The general fund has 2.9 million. Our community facilities district, 9.4 million. Capital projects, 9.8. And our maintenance and assessment district, $419. Any questions? No? Any questions about the audit, what we do? Everybody's happy.
Just one question. When you do the audit, is it here in the premises or is it information that is sent to you?
Most of the audits now are hybrid. So Loretta and her team did a really great job uploading lots of information preliminary for us so we can do planning and sample selections, get all of our admin and perm files filled out. So that by the time we get on site, they've got our selections for testing. They had everything ready for us. So we sat here, I think it only took us one day, 3 team members, testing all of the underlying documents and asking the questions that we had.
For the financials, are you looking at the fiscal year or,
Yes.
okay.
So the financial statements are as of 6/30/2024.
So our fiscal year closes in June?
June 30th. The new fiscal year starts July 1st.
Right, any further questions?
No. All right. Well, thank you very much.
I'd just like to thank Kendra and her team, Loretta and her team, and then Rick Gallo, our accountant. The 3 of them make this seamless and I do appreciate it. So thank you.
Yes, it was thankfully with the accounting work that is done, this process, while it's always cumbersome, went very, very smoothly and they responded very quickly to all our requests. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kendra.
All right, we'll move on to 5.2, conduct continue.
I move that the board of directors accept and receive the annual audit report of the Rupa Area Recreation and Park District prepared by the firm of Smith, Marion and Company and the management discussion and analysis letter MD&A for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2024.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes 5-0. Now on to 5.2. Conduct continued public hearings and an election related to Community Facilities District 2016-1, annexation number 38. Mr. DeGlitz.
Or not?
Yes, Mr. President, thank you. I'm actually going to ask Mr. Owen to explain the predicament we're in right now as we have not received the ballot.
Happy to do so. The board may recall that on October 24th, we opened the public hearing for annexation 38 to Community Facilities District 2016-1. At that time, the board continued the hearing because the property owner had failed to submit the ballot. On November 14th, the board again continued it because the property owner had again failed to submit the ballot. Tonight, I'm here to report to you that the property owner has failed to submit the ballot. However, the property owner did tell staff 2 days ago that they had put it or yesterday.
It's in the mail.
That they had put it in the mail. The options tonight are to continue it one more time with an understanding that you probably wouldn't want to do that again. Or to just go ahead and terminate the proceedings on your own if you wish. If you were to terminate them, then the developer would be required to start the process all over again if he wanted to continue forward getting building permits from the city of Arupa Valley. That would be a cost to them of, I'm not sure the exact amount, but close to $10,000 probably total. My recommendation begrudgingly is to go ahead and continue it one more time with the understanding that if the property owner was not telling the truth, that he had put the ballot in the mail, that you would not continue it at the next meeting. For all of those reasons, there's no purpose going forward with the public hearing tonight. It's already been opened. As you'll recall, at the original meeting, it's been continued once. And our recommendation, unless the general manager feels otherwise, would be to go ahead and recommend it or continue it one more to your next regular meeting, which is
January 9th.
January 9th, 2025.
And just to reiterate for the board, this is the commercial property located along Van Buren at Rutile. Slated for a Vallarta market, west. Wrong blank here.
That other one.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Northgate.
Yeah,
North.
Northgate, thank you. Think of West, but it's Northgate Market, gas station and a couple other storefronts that'll be part of a shopping center. This has been a long process. If you remember early last year, 2023, the resolution of intention was also continued a couple of times because we failed to receive their petition. So at this point, after tonight, they have exhausted their deposit and they will have to replenish that or submit another one for a new proceeding. And at this point, I defer to the board.
My personal feeling is that I don't like our time wasted. This has been a long drawn out process, and to me, 3 strikes you're out. So my vote would be to make him start over.
I'm willing to give him one more chance and then make him start over.
Well, we can't do anything more until he deposits more money with us, correct? So at that, yes. So I am fine with one more time with the understanding that he's going to be depositing more money, but primarily because our legal counsel has said that is probably the best thing to do. But yes, it's a very frustrating situation.
I'll go with council's advice on this item.
I too agree. Give him another shot.
I think 4-1 will have some impact as well, as opposed.
Yeah. So,
We don't need a motion, right?
All right, no. Well, yes, a motion to continue the public hearing to January 9th.
I move we continue the public hearing until January 9th.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Okay.
Oh. Motion passes 4-1.
and send a message.
Understood. On to 5.3, SQ 165 Annual Local Agency Special Tax Accountability Report for the Community Facilities Districts for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2024. Mr. Digwig.
Yes, as you stated, this is one of our obligatory meetings, items we have at the end of the year. And this is again in regards to our SB 165 report, and Ms. Gruber is here to have a staff report and answer any questions you may have in regards to it.
Sure, thank you very much. Sorry, I didn't know Bob was going to be there in person tonight either, so I should have come in person. But yeah, this is the SB 165, the annual accountability report. It is a transparency report that the board receives and files, doesn't need to approve. This includes all of the CFDs that the district has, and as you saw in the audit, they're becoming significantly a significant part of the financial picture of the district and provide quite a bit of funding for the maintenance of parks. The report goes through each of the CFDs, gives a little summary about when it was formed and what the purpose was. And then for each of the CFDs, there's a table that has the June, I don't know if you want to go through, Each CFD has a table that has the ending balance for 2023, July 1, 2023, what was collected, interest earned, what was spent and what it was spent on, and then the total expenditures and then the ending balance. And those ending balances do include the amounts that are restricted for capital expenditure as well as cash flow purposes to get us through the 6 months between July 1 and January, when you get your large apportionment from the tax collection of December 10. So that is a summary, and I'm happy to answer any questions about the report if you have them.
Is other revenue entirely interest income, or does it include anything else? I wouldn't think of it.
It's mostly interest income, but in some cases it does include like lighting fees in certain parks, like Vernola.
So for it'll be the light charges,
Mhm.
the other income.
Any other questions?
There is a version with like the revenue being itemized. It's just for the sake of this report.
Correct, that would be our actual budgets, the year end that we received on as well.
I move the board of directors accept and receive the local agency special tax annual accountability report ending fiscal year June 30th, 2023 to the district's community facilities district as required under the guidelines of SB 165.
2024.
It says 2023 here.
That's, we made that
That was-
correction.
That's the correction, 2024. Okay, sorry.
Fiscal year 23-24.
Okay, fiscal year 23-24.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Thank you, Wendy.
Uh-huh.
On to 5.4, adjustment of salary schedule for minimum wage increase on January 1st, 2025.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think this is something we've done every December since. I want to say. We've been informed there is another minimum wage increase that takes effect January 1, 2025. In front of you is an adjustment to our salary scale, but only for our recreation aid position. Currently, that rate starts at $16.25, and we're bringing it current with the new minimum wage. It'll be increased to $16.50. So it is highlighted in the report here in red. I wanted you to see that's the only thing being adjusted. We currently only have 5 employees at this position. They are high school students, and once they've graduated high school, they then become recreation leaders.
Any questions?
I just have a question. What is your steps A, B, C? What does that classify?
So they come in at step A, and then based upon, rarely does anybody in a rec aid position move on to B or C. But after 1,000 hours or 1 year, they're eligible for a merit increase. And they would go up to the next step.
And consecutive.
And they're 5% increments.
Okay.
Any other questions? I'll entertain a motion.
I move the board of directors approve the adjusted employee salary schedule for the recreation aid position.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 5-0. On to 5.5, purchase of tables and chairs for Harupa Community Center. Mr. DeWitt.
Yes, thank you. As we are well underway in the renovation of the Rupp Community Center, one of the things we need to do is update our tables and chairs for that facility. They were definitely beyond their life expectancy. In front of us is a quote from Mighty Inc., which is the manufacturer of Mighty Light tables. These are the same tables that we have at Skyview Event Center, which would be the 5-foot round, 6-foot round tables. They are black. They have the metal stripping around them. That was something that we've added, kind of our standard. And it really does help improve the longevity of these tables as they get banged around in their use. 12 6-foot, 6.5-foot, I'm sorry, 6 foot by 2.5 foot, 30-inch rectangular tables with carts, and then 240 banquet chairs. We have the chair being recommended is slightly different than the one we have at Skyview. Same chair, the only difference is the backing. In talking with the staff at Skyview, the only complaint we ever hear with our chairs is from the renters that are putting the covers on them. The round ones, the covers fall, and they wanted more of a square. They get more for a square back. So this chair is a square back. Otherwise, it's the same model per se. We do have extra tables built into this as well as chairs to allow for, damage that does occur to them. Just in comparison for the board, when we purchased the similar tables and chairs for Skyview a little over 4 years ago now, the price amazingly hasn't gone up a whole lot. The inflation we're seeing across the board hasn't been horrific in comparison. It is about a 3-month lead time on these, so this is a perfect time to get them ordered as they will be coming in towards the completion of the project. So I'd be available with any questions you may have.
Yeah, are we going to have a separate thing for linens for these tables? That won't be.
We will not be purchasing linens. If we do, it'd be very similar to what we did for Skyview. They're for our internal use only for our events and activities. Most rentals bring their own linens in.
What's going to happen to the old equipment?
If you recall, we did surplus some of it out last year. The rest of it that was still in usable condition, we have retained. Primarily, if you recall, the rodeo typically uses a number of those. They'll be allocated to RT Arena. We've replaced some of the older ones at Avalon Gym as well. So we retained what was still used or in the best condition.
And this is the normal vendor you always
Yeah.
use.
And I want to clarify, we are purchasing in this under the state of California CMAS contract, which is the California Multiple Award Schedule. So this has already been publicly bid, and we're just piggybacking off of this. And Mighty Light is what we have across the district at all our facilities.
Okay, no further questions?
I move that the board of directors authorize the purchase of tables, chairs, and storage racks for the Rupa Community Center in the amount of $68,778.81.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That motion passes 5-0. On to 5.6, workshop formation of a nonprofit. Mr. DeWitt.
Yes, this has been a goal of the board of directors and was prioritized for this year for the formation of a nonprofit to be associated with the district. I do have a number of questions for the board, and I wanted to bring it forward so we can have some discussions. So myself and Mr. Owen can begin the formation of this. I imagine we'll have to bring back for some further discussion. But couple things. First of all, a name. We've always just kind of assumed it would be Friends of the Rupa Area Recreation Park District or some variation of that. How you want this to be structured, primarily the governing board of it. We could go a number of different ways. There are agencies that the board of directors is also the board for the nonprofit. It is a certain number of board members as well as members appointed by the board from the public. Some agencies also have a staff member or two that sits on the board. We need to know how many board members you want on the board, anywhere from 5 to I've seen as many as 17, which I do not recommend by any means. And then we need to start developing a mission statement to go along with the bylaws that would need to be adopted. And we need to define the goals and objectives for that nonprofit so we can go into those bylaws. Essentially, from discussions we've had, the primary function will be to benefit the Parks District. There are agencies that their foundation also can benefit public organizations, other public organizations operating within those jurisdictions as well. My personal feeling is we have enough other organizations within our district boundaries that I don't think that's something we need to consider. Primarily, the foundation will be for fundraising efforts for scholarship for our recreation programs, as well as helping seeking donations for future park improvements. There are also a number of grant opportunities out there that the district either needs to or will score better by partnering with a nonprofit, we can partner with ourselves. Or there's also grants that just aren't available to us, but would be available to the nonprofit. One other kind of unique situation we're in, we do have a number of the BOLD projects right now that are out there. We use the BOLD for financing the capital outlays for developers. Rather than forming our own CFT for it, it's beyond our internal capabilities really. Through the California Municipal Finance Authority that operates the BOLD program. One of the stipulations within that is there is a donation made on behalf of the district. It's a percentage of the proceeds that go to a nonprofit. So we could stipulate that those proceeds went to this nonprofit as well. And then they can be used towards scholarship or future park improvements as well. So that's it in a nutshell. I know there's a lot of things to discuss. I really just wanted, my main question is, how do you want the board to be set up for this? How has the board envisioned this? So we can begin drafting some draft. Thinking of bylaws, thank you.
My first question is, how many of our board members, can we only have 2 on that board? So we stay in line with the Brown Act? How does the Brown Act figure in with this second board with having board members from our board on it?
I think having limited it to 2 would eliminate the question, but tell you the truth, I don't know if you're allowed to have 3. I can look into it.
So our board is not in its entirety allowed to act separately as the foundation board.
It could.
It could.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's true. I think there are other agencies that do that.
Yes.
I think the question would be how many of us can be part of it, like you stated.
Yeah.
See, to me, the simplest and smoothest way to do it is if the board,
Make it the board.
yeah, we were our board, and we also act as the board of the foundation separately in a separate meeting, kind of like the county board of supervisors you see on their agenda. Sometimes they're the county board of supervisors, sometimes they're the board of the county flood control district or the county parks district. And they just act separately in their different capacities. I'm just concerned because sometimes it can be very hard to get community members to be involved, or sometimes it can be very hard because the community members, they start having their own agenda. Let's put it that way. You know, and our agenda is scholarships for kids for swim programs. Maybe their agenda is something else, and then it starts to become this thing.
So we kind of limit the agenda behind 2 different boards.
We don't find ourselves being put in a position of having to go with our hat in our hand to get our money. Hi,
Yeah.
we really want to do more swim lessons. But then for whatever reason that it's just, I see it that with these different friends groups, like county animal control has a friends group, and it's just, they have to go with their hat in their hand every time. Hey, we need a new washing machine. Could you please purchase that for us? And it's just, I don't want us to be put in that position. I do think we need to take public input on how we do it. I don't mean that. But I'm concerned that we cause ourselves more heartache than we solve if we have
I
this
understand.
board.
If the rest of the board agrees with that, I think the next step is to go research if that's doable.
To ensure that's
if
possible.
It's been done before and how
Is there a deadline for this?
to you.
No, there's no deadline. It's,
Just an idea that you wanted
we,
to say.
yeah, it's something that the board gave as a priority at our goal setting this year. For this fiscal year.
Okay.
If, let's say we are the board, whenever we'll discuss the, business, would it be
In-
in our own
We
agenda?
would
or a
end the
separate
meeting, we would have to end the meeting
Okay,
and then have a separate meeting.
okay.
I think logistically that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Because we could just roll in, save time.
Mhm.
And sometimes they even do it like, the president or the chairman of that board is different from our
I see.
current president. It's however we want to do it. At least that's the way I've seen it.
I think logistically, keeping the same board makes sense to me.
Perhaps for that board on the bylaws, we can elect the president as opposed to the system we have here.
Well, I apologize to the board that we haven't looked at that already, but that's exactly what we'll go look at.
Yeah. I feel there's agencies that are operating that way. But now you got me thinking.
Yeah.
That's the the county board of supervisors agendas where they seem to.
They have different.
Yeah, well, that's different because those are
Statutorily authorized.
those are dependent special districts, which is a whole separate issue,
Yes.
but
I thought we could do that. When I first got on this board, there was a big brouhaha about that there was that feather and where the money went, and there was, only 2 board members on that in the community, and there was discussion about, feather agreeing or not agreeing to give money for what the board wanted, and I just would like us to avoid that. Don't want us to get into a fight with our nonprofit board.
were you part of any of that,
That
Bob?
makes sense. Not really.
See, that was pretty, yeah, I didn't think I was.
I was around at that time, but I didn't have much involvement.
That was-
I drafted some documents at the beginning, but I never attended any of their meetings.
It kind of, I think it came and it went,
And it was defunct before I came in. It was already done.
but it was fun times.
Okay.
Is that anything else you want from it?
Any ideas on the name? Friends of the Roof Parks, like,
I mean, besides Friends of the Parks.
Yeah.
Maybe we can think about it in the next meeting.
yeah, it doesn't have to be tonight, but
Yeah.
it's something to start.
That's something we can all kind of think about.
And I think the board, the idea of that its primary function is for support of recreation programs and park improvements. And we don't want to look outside beyond that.
And grant or something.
And, well, yeah. But if a local youth sports came to us asking for funds for scholarships for their players, is that something that you want to open the door to? Things along those lines.
Discussion for the board of that nonprofit.
Hmm?
A discussion for the board of that nonprofit.
But we need to form the bylaws. We need to define that within its function. These are, that's the common example I've heard from other agencies where they run into hiccups. Those organizations are typically nonprofits themselves. They have fundraising opportunities out there to them, so.
Yeah, the problem is we might do a disservice to our users, our direct users. By, not prioritizing them.
I think we're also kind of making the assumption that we have a lot of funds available, and we don't know, so. We can always modify them, correct, Bob?
Not for what,
Bylaws.
Sure. Sure.
I mean, personally, I think initially, no. I think that just complicates the thing. It's for us. I see it primarily as a way for us to get grants to do things. Not for, I don't think we're gonna be collecting that much money that we would have the right to just distribute to anybody we wanted to.
I don't think the intention is for us to hold golf tournaments and, fundraising dinners and stuff like that. It's primarily just, there's lots of arts and STEM grants out there. Obesity type funding that can help offset operational costs and scholarships for swim lessons and youth basketball and our dance classes and those types of things.
Healthy living,
So
kinds
you-
of scholarships and things.
You want to use it as a tool for the district to provide more benefit to its constituents than it does now.
Yes,
That's what I'm-
that's a good way of putting it, yes.
So
I think-
prioritize swim lessons or internal users.
Yes,
Basically tap into resources we were otherwise be able to
yes,
under us as a
Yeah.
district, yeah.
But we can use it for funding for students, for kids that could normally
have the swim lesson,
afford programs.
right. Well, I mean, keep in mind, swim lessons are not a sport. They're literally a life-saving tool.
But
So,
we have other things that there are cost to people and our families that cannot afford it. And I would think that would be our scholarships to help the kids that cannot afford some of these programs get into them.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
But I don't envision this organization determining yes, no. Staff would put together a report requesting X amount of dollars for the upcoming season, and we would allocate it based upon our processes already in place. And we typically, the procedures we use are very similar to what qualifies students for free or reduced lunch with the school district. Those are set established procedures that seem to work very well. It's what we use right now. We got our first 5 funding for swim lessons. It's what we use towards scholarship. Tonight, we accepted donations from the Rotary Club towards scholarships. We use those same guidelines. So I don't think the nonprofit would be setting who got what money. They would giving it to the district, and we would use our set priorities.
Yes,
That makes sense.
yes. No, we wouldn't be deciding if Joe or Susie got the scholarship. You would be deciding.
I would imagine we would give a report back on a biannual basis, maybe. With this money, we gave X amount of scholarships for these programs in these areas.
Any other input you need?
I don't think so. I think we will look into if the board can also be the governing body.
I think that's the place to start.
Perfect. That was easy. Have a lot more discussion.
You want more discussion?
No, not at all.
So that takes us to 5.7, rotation of officers for 2025. Mr. DeWitt.
Yes, in our bylaws, we established a rotation of officers a number of years ago. I guess I should go to the agenda report for you. When I was starting, it went Division 1, 4, 2, 5, 3. Currently, Mr. Castellan is our sitting president at Division 5. The next in the
Division 4.
I'm sorry, Division 4. The next would be Division 2, Mr. Godinez, followed by the vice president being Division 3, which would be Director Reeves.
Division 5.
Division
Sorry,
5.
Division. I'm sorry, Mr. Leisure, then Division 3. I'm all off. Thank you. With that, it sets the rotation of the president and the vice president, and the secretary is set by a motion of the board.
Well, I would like to nominate Tammy Rivas for secretary position.
Second.
Thank you.
Do we just roll call?
I don't need a roll call.
I know.
But thank
All
you.
right.
But that's,
So I would just need a list of what the secretary does.
okay.
Honestly, you have to sign a lot.
Very
Just, you have to, give me a sore wrist.
Before.
I will tell you, on my first day, when I first told the board, this first thing it did to me was make me secretary. But I actually looked at the rotation and you would be in the rotation after me, so it makes a natural order of succession to have you be secretary.
I thought we had.
Then you'll be vice
It's no
president.
additional, you have to sign the minutes, depending on the resolutions, certain ones you sign, certain ones you don't.
Maps, they're reported to the county.
I thought we had adjusted it to the third person on the rotation.
We talked about it, but it was never finalized.
You guys want to finalize it then?
Well, it would be best if when we review the bylaws come January, we can make that change if you want to at that time.
So,
I accept. I accept.
Was the second, right?
Yes.
And all,
Yes.
your votes.
We don't need a motion.
We need a vote.
You vote?
We have a motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Aye.
Aye.
It's not a big deal. You just sign a lot of stuff. That's
Yeah.
all.
Yes, that's fine.
Welcome to the board.
Thank you.
The only time it's really bad is in June, we sign those CFD resolutions. We'll prepare you.
We just that.
Yeah.
Ah,
Can you get a stamp? I wish. No, we cannot get a stamp, unfortunately.
Try.
Okay, so our next president will be Mr. Benitez.
Yes. Take effect at the end of the meeting.
Great. And our next vice president.
Mr. Leisha.
Perfect. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, so that takes us to communications, general manager's report, Mr. DeWitt.
Yes, thank you. I want to remind the board, this Saturday is our Breakfast with Santa at Skyview Event Center. The event is sold out. Over 150 people at each sitting, and there's 3 seatings. So we hope to see you guys if you're able to stop by, say hello. We appreciate it. I did see Santa's pictures today and he looks really good. So we're excited about that. It's a great event every year. We also have Snow Day coming up, which will be January the 4th, I believe. And tickets are still available for that, and that takes place at Vernola Family Park. Again, if you're able to, we'd love to see you out for those events. To remind the board, we are dark, our second meeting in December, as it falls on December 26th. A couple updates on our construction projects we have going on. We did receive all of our new arena panels last week for our project here. We met with the contractor and they will be starting at Felspar Arena, maybe the week between Christmas and New Year's. Just depending on the timing. It's kind of a short week, the way the holiday falls. And we don't want to, have to start and stop. But they feel they'll be able to, Felspar is the smallest, would be the quickest one. And then from there, we'll be able to get in a good groove. We'll try to do one arena a week is our goal. So hopefully by the end of January, weather permitting, all the arenas in the district, with exception of Horseshoe Lake, will be replaced. We have ordered signs that will be going up as well, recognizing the new arenas coming in. For RT and Larimore, we'll be able to keep one arena operational at a time, so they won't be completely shut down like Felspar would be. We also met with a representative from Metropolitan Water District regarding our turf replacement program at Vernola Family Park. And we're anticipating a contract number next week, which essentially reserves our funds for that grant. And the contractor, once we receive that, will start with the killing off of the grass. It takes about 3 weeks, and then once it's thoroughly been killed, it will be removed and will be rolling in. They anticipate taking about a month for that entire project, just a little over a month, again, weather permitting for that project. We're excited to get that going, and we're looking at a couple other projects potentially within the district here that we could, capitalize on these funds that are available to us. Skyview Event Center is, I'm sorry, not Skyview, Rupa Community Center is proceeding very, very nicely. Drywall was delivered last week. We've got, I believe tomorrow, I was told there's an inspection, I'm sorry, Monday is inspections and all the rough ends for electrical, plumbing, framing. Once that's done, they can start insulating and drywalling can begin. And they're also at that same point, we'll start rolling into exterior stucco projects along those lines. We thought the building was going to be Pandora's box because it's 40 years old. We really had no as-built for it. They were destroyed in a flood. We've been fairly lucky to this point. Nothing major has come up. With the building, Pandora's box is actually going to be the parking lot. We had hoped to be able to originally grind and cap the parking lot. It's beyond that point. And I'm waiting for some final explanations, but some AQMD rules beyond a certain point when we go into paving, we have to go into the sub bases, replace that as well. And our quotes are coming back at $500,000 for the entire parking lot. It is 45,000 square feet. Working the math out, yeah, I know,
What
it's,
does that got to do with the AQMD?
I don't know, I'm trying to get the complete answers. And the other part of it is because it has to do with our soils report. And we're talking with the engineer to double and triple check his calculations. Cause it's calling for 4 inches of class 2 road base and then 3 inches of asphalt on top of it. So essentially we have to export out 4 inches of soil, import in 4 inches of base and then lay our asphalt on top of that. So we're waiting to hear back.
Parking lot's looking better and better.
I'm sorry?
Parking lot's looking better and better.
The parking lot is in extremely poor condition. We all know that. Part of it is because there is no base below the parking lot. So that obviously is contributing to it. So that's where we're at. Yes.
So we something.
Yes. Moving on to Veterans Memorial Wall. We do have some good news. Plans are basically done. I just need some input from you guys. Let me show you. This is the conceptual drawings of where we're at. Director Rivas's information. The memorial wall is currently located at the back of Veterans Memorial Park near the ball fields.
Hidden?
Hidden and being relocated to the front of the park here. This is a conceptual drawing looking from Riverview towards the park. It'll go off to the right-hand side here of the community center. There's 2 small shelters that will be removed as part of this. And I cannot tell you how excited the maintenance staff was to hear that. Those are,
Nice.
they drives them crazy. The vandalism and what takes place within those current shelters. The theme kind of the architect is going for the memorial wall. This is a, what, Ross, what was this?
This is an F-16 that is painted for the Thunderbirds.
It's informed me he worked on these
I did.
his time in the Air Force. So this is the kind of the inspiration they were going for. And this is what the wall is proposed at right now. So I think they did a pretty good job of capturing that. The star there will be stained concrete. Though the plaques will be relocated from the current wall to this wall. So what I need from you guys tonight is kind of a buy-in of, yes, this is what you're looking for. But up until now, we've always seen the wall in a dark, almost granite looking color. So I have some options here for you. What we have determined is this will be a product that we'll be purchasing from Quikrete, which is located here in Corona. They do a lot of the pre-manufactured trash cans, picnic benches, and they also do custom work like this. We'll be purchasing a product and then paying for the installation rather than paying for the labor of building and pouring on site. Has to do with prevailing wage rates. Be a lot more cost effective for us. We have a number of colors available to us. It's hard to tell the difference of these two. These are kind of a natural color, and it's really hard to tell at this. This is what they call the Craftsman's Etched. This is the other one that our architect is recommending, which is Honed. Very similar, a very natural color with some light coloring to it. And then the darkest color, if we wanted to go with a black, is what is called French gray. So
So this would be the whole wall.
this would be the wall itself,
Except for the
plaques, which are,
Where the
which,
plaques go.
yeah.
and the blue and red stripes.
Right,
And
the
the-
black color would be good because it would be a contrast to the black of the plaques.
Yeah.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
Okay, the plaques are black, they're black granite. Is that what-
black granite.
Right, so it used to be the darker color they kind of just blend into the wall, they wouldn't stand out. So I think the lighter, my personal feeling, the lighter color, because you get that contrast.
And this is the one the architect was recommending.
Either the honed or the craftsman, there's very little difference in them. This has a little more black and gray specks in it.
Do you have samples of those?
I can get samples of the two, yes.
Are the stripes going to be painted?
I'm sorry,
Are the stripes going to be painted?
Chris, yeah, the treads will be painted.
Can we see the craftsman again?
I don't think the pictures do justice.
No, they don't give them justice. I can get you, I just really want to, if you want to go with the lighter of the colors, so we can spec it, we can still change out the color. It's just really a spec within the plan.
I kind of feel like we need to see the actual sample.
Yeah,
Yeah,
samples would be nice.
but does anybody want to entertain the dark color?
No.
Okay, because if we were gonna entertain the dark color, that takes away the red and blue stripes. That becomes very hard to do.
Did you,
Picking between the two, I can have samples for us that we can
Would
finalize.
you mind putting up the picture again of the
Yes.
wall?
did you inquire about what I asked about the polish and shine?
They're waiting to hear back. Yeah, Mr. Leisure asked if
The
we could have a.
plaques.
Well,
The
no,
wall
no,
could
the
have
whole,
a-
the whole thing, because just plain concrete, you know, how when somebody redoes their drive or inside the house, they want straight concrete. They put that high gloss
Right.
finish over it, and I thought that might be nice to seal it.
Might also be a good thing as a graffiti coat as well. So we're waiting to hear back from.
What about the plaques that are already existing? Are they gonna get polished or they're just gonna?
So
be
when
as
we
is?
take them down, they'll get returned to our monument company that does them here in Ricker Monument, and he's going to refurbish them. So give them all fresh paint on the names, polish them up before they get put in here. And the other thing that we're looking at is we can actually have inlets poured into the wall. So the granite tiles will sit flush, not sticking out the inch that they are, which will be a good thing to help with vandalism.
We just have had, where it's sitting now, we've had vandalism because you can't see it.
It's hidden. Yes.
Yes.
And then the part of it is because it's curved, it creates large voids, which makes it they've been cracked.
Yeah.
And we would eliminate them.
We've actually caught people, or I have barbecuing with their barbecue right up against the plaques and using the facility as a windbreak, and
Windbreaker.
it cracked the plaque, the heat cracked the plaque. Had to be replaced.
I think that the issue with this picture is the color you're talking about.
Well, and we're not gonna be able to
It's
get,
white.
yes, this is just pure white, exactly.
So, I mean, we're not gonna do pure white, and I wouldn't recommend we do pure
No,
white.
no.
Because I think that would be too blaring.
Mhm.
So I don't know if they're able to like give us a picture that would give us a little more of a sense of what,
I don't know if we can get that, but I can get samples of the product.
okay.
And I'm sure I could get a sample of the granite from the monument company that we can look at to see the contrast.
Another good thing about Ross's recommendation of having it coated is, you know, when it rains, concrete, even if it's light, it turns gray. And I think when it's coated, it would maintain its color
Maintain its color, yeah.
until it
I don't
dries.
really see a downside to coating it.
I don't either.
Yeah.
If it's a great idea.
Yeah, just based on this, the craftsman gives like a finer like touch to it,
Yes.
but just based.
But so we get the actual samples.
The hone had a bigger,
I just want to make sure that we're not looking at the dark color.
No,
So, yeah. This is about a 12-week production timeline on this. So this will be coming forward at our January meeting for the purchase of the wall. We will purchase it and have the contractor install it. Because if we wait to award the contract and then have them purchase it, it delays it just that much. And we're not gonna make our May deadline. So we ordered in January and they will store it for us till we're ready to install. But it's not a large construction timeline of this project by any means. Probably reality 30 days or less. So
Were we able to solve the problem with the hedge behind it?
yeah, so there's a double row of trees. And I forget which trees we switched them out to, but to eliminate that bleed through of the background behind the park.
how many plaques do we currently have on the wall? Do you remember?
6. So
Okay.
5.5 used. This gives us, this is, the wall's been in place for 20 years. With what's showing there is another 20 years at the same rate. And then we can expand further down the wing if we needed to with some smaller plaques.
And the middle plaque, is that gonna be,
This is the one that's the wall plaque. So right now there's the wall plaque, then it's the Alex Caballero wall, and then there's a smaller one with about 5 names on it. It's not broken out on this diagram, but it's replacing it in the same. There's a reason why that middle plaque is the angled like it is, and I'll explain that to you after the meeting if you're worried. I don't wanna.
Is that blue concrete going to be a different material as well?
That's a stained concrete, yes.
so it's not gonna be as vibrant as what I see there?
No. I
You-
think you're talking about the ribbon right here, right?
Yes.
You're talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Good.
We can't get it as vibrant as the blue on the wing, but. Perfect. So we're moving forward. We're excited.
Yeah.
And that's all I have for you this evening.
Is it?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Under 6.2, I'm sorry, I just realized Rebecca's name's there, so I'm sure you'll. Yeah, we need to
Thank you.
fix our template.
Will do. Next, board comments. We'll start with Mrs. Johnson.
Yes, really productive meeting tonight, and I thank my fellow board members. I want to welcome Director Rivas. I counted up, she is the 10th board member I will have served with.
Nice.
But then I figured out Ross had served with 9, so it wasn't like I had been far ahead of everybody else. Looking forward to the Breakfast of Santa. We will be there with bells on because it's our grandson's first Christmas. And so he will have 2 parents, an aunt, 2 grandmothers, and a grandfather all there eating breakfast and seeing him with Santa, where he will probably either cry or yank on Santa's beard. We have bets going on. It's a real beard.
Or
Yeah.
both.
Thank goodness it's a real beard because he'll probably. Anyway, so looking forward to that and all the other upcoming things, including Snow Day, because I know that's always a really popular event for the citizens of Hoopa Valley. So looking forward to that as well. And that's it.
Thank you. Mr. Godinez?
Yes, I would like to thank, congratulate Director Rivas on her victory and Director Johnson on her reelection.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I look forward to working with all of you, having a good year. I want to thank staff as always. Things are checking along pretty well. Let's hope for the best in our coming year, and I'm excited.
Thank you. Next, we'll have Ms. Rivas.
That's right, huh? Well, first of all, I want to thank you for welcoming me to the board of directors, and thank you to the staff for making things easy. And well, I too am hopeful for the upcoming year and looking forward to Breakfast with Santa and the snow days. So thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Lejeune?
Yeah, I'm always looking forward to representing Snow Day. Also, this last week I attended the staff Christmas party. And it was very, very nice. Staff like they were having a blast. I did not stay because the party's for staff, but it looked like you guys had some great food there. So that was fun to do. Welcome, Director Rivas.
Thank you.
Glad you're here. Glad you took my nomination secretary in the spirit in which it was given.
Of course, always the best.
And I look forward to a great next year. And congratulations to Jose and Kim on their reelection.
Thank you. As for myself, yeah, it's been a pleasure serving as your president. This past year was really good learning curve for me as well, and I really got used to the hang of running the meeting. So I'm gonna
Got down pat.
yeah, down to the science. But it's been a pleasure serving with you all this past year, and welcome, Mr. Rivas, to the board. Look forward to working together. And congrats on your reelection as well. Looking forward to Snow Day and Breakfast with Santa as well. And I'm very, very excited for what's to come next year. There's I think a lot of projects in my tenure that are kind of now, they're really taking off, so really excited. So, and my compliments to all the staff for all the work that's gone to that. So that's it for my comments. We'll do committee reports, interagency meeting. Do we have any update?
Yeah, I attended the interagency council meeting on November 15th. So probably 90% of what we talked about has already happened. On the RCSD board, though, Director Trowbridge retired after 22 years of service on the board. So there is a vacancy, but unfortunately, today at 5 o'clock was the deadline to apply if you wanted to fill that vacancy. Also on the RCSD, I'd like to congratulate my lovely wife Diane on being elected to the board of directors for that agency. In the spirit of congratulations, please give our congratulations to newly elected Senator Cervantes. The fire department had to respond to 290 calls, including 9 wildfires. And this was before the most recent ones we had, with an average response time of 4.8 minutes. The sheriff's department received a theft prevention grant that funded 60 more flock cameras. Those are the license plate readers for those that don't. And this has resulted in many more arrests and tons of returned property. So those flock cameras are working. And the next interagency council meeting will be January 31st, right here. And that's my report.
Thank you. All right, do we have any future committee meetings planned?
Not right now, Mr. President.
Thank you. Any agenda items for future board meetings? Okay. Our upcoming meeting, so December 26th will be canceled. So our next meeting will be January 9th, 2025. And that will conclude our meeting at 7:45. Thank you all.
Thank you.
That leave time for a dad joke for Christmas.
Of course, Bob.
4 stages of a man's life. And the first